Exploring Nonlinear Relationships, Lesson 10.4. Sounds kind of complicated, but actually it is not. Nonlinear simply meaning not in a line. So a nonlinear equation is simply an equation with a graph that's not a straight line. For example, a parabola. A parabola is a curved line. When you have an equation like this, y equals negative x squared, remembering that that negative sign does not go with the x. It just means opposite of x squared. It is a good idea to make a table of at least 5 values. When you're doing 5, it's very typical to start with -2 and go to +2. I went ahead and did 7 on this example, starting with -3 and going to +3. The reason that we choose those x values is that they're usually pretty easy to work with. You get some negative values and some positive values. That's a good idea as well. And you start with numbers that are small and easy to work with. So if we put in -3 for x, we would have -3 squared, which is +9, and then we still have that negative sign on the outside. In other words, when we fill in that -3 value, this is really what it looks like. So we have -3 squared, that's 9, and the negative sign is still here. So that's how when you put in -3, you get a -9 as your result. When you put in a -2, -2 squared would be 4. Opposite of that would be -4. When you put in a -1, -1 squared is 1. Opposite of that is -1. When you put in a 0, you still get 0, because the opposite of 0 is still 0. When you put in a 1, 1 squared is 1. Opposite of 1 is -1. For 2, you get a -4, and for 3, you get a -9. So once you have your values, you now have your ordered pairs. -3, -9, -2, -4, -1, -1, 0, 0, 1, -1, 2, -4, and 3, -9. I have them listed on the next page. So these are the ordered pairs that we just created from the last sheets, the last page's values chart. So now if we graph those, -3, so again, we always start at the origin. -3, that means we go to the left, and -9 means we go down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all the way down at the bottom here. Okay, -2, -4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we have -1, 1. That would be right here. 0, 0. 1, -1. 2, -4. And -3, -9. Now, what we have here then is a parabola. If we connect these dots, a little curvy there, sorry, we get a curved line and not a straight line. So this is considered a nonlinear equation. When you are graphing absolute value equations, you are going to get a V shape. Now, because we know there's absolute value in our equation, this is our equation right here, y equals x, the absolute value of x. We really don't need 7 values. 5 works just fine. So here I have my chart, my values table. I'm going to use -2 to 2 as my x values. And then when I put it into the equation, I get these results. That means that if I put negative 2 in for x, the absolute value of negative 2 is 2. So now my ordered pair is negative 2, 2, negative 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2. So let's look at the next page and let's graph those. Again, I've written them down from the table. We started our origin, negative 2, positive 2. There we go. Then negative 1, positive 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, and 2, 2. And you can see that we have a V. If we connect the dots, we have a V. And that is always how an absolute value equation will look. All right, let's practice some.